Hello world. Tonight's, we're featuring the Triggerfish. It's a critical review publication on April. We like to do some not just straightforward featured reader events, but have other things going on, and so this is one of those deals. I'm very excited to have David Mayer here, the editor, and so come on up, David, and tell us about your publication.
Thanks for coming out, you guys. I appreciate it. I know that isn't always easy to do. And thank you, Mark and Dale, for both of you. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to introduce the journal a little bit, and then we're going to have, and I'll read a few poems from contributors, and then Mark and Dale are going to read. They have been contributors, and they're going to do some reading too. So basically, the journal started in 2009, and it was an outgrowth of a poetry forum, a global online poetry forum. There used to be a bunch of these online. I think it started 1998, and it went through 2015, and then basically social media kind of took over and people stopped participating in these sorts of things. So the journal was an outgrowth of that, and it was for internal contests, probably monthly contests, where we would nominate and vote for winners, and but we also wanted to have submissions from outside. So it was basically kind of related to the workshop, but also a separate thing. And one of the distinctives of Triggerfish is that we do peer reviews. So all the contributors in the journal can critique each other, write reviews of each other's poems, and that way it causes a sense of community. And we're biannual. We publish in July and January, and you might be interested to know why we would call it Triggerfish. I don't know if any of you know much about Triggerfish, but there's a lot of species. They're stunningly beautiful. They're kind of unusual because they're kind of diamond shaped. Their fins on the top and the bottom are oscillate, and they're also fiercely territorial, and they're odd. But the reason I think that they're of interest to us is that they have this strange behavior of eating spiny sea urchins, and they will blow the sea urchin over so that they can get to the bottom of it. And that's kind of what we try to do. We try to figure out how and why poems work through the review process. And sometimes poems present themselves like spiny urchins, especially when Mark writes them. So what I thought I would do is read about 4 different contributors. And interestingly enough, my first contributor is Dmitry Bliznyuk from Kharkov, Ukraine. And he's in the heat of he's on the eastern side. It's not pretty. And the translator, he sent me 2 poems, and I wasn't sure whether that was 1 poem or 2, because he uses asterisks for his titles. And then, so he sent this, and it looked like 1 poem. And, I asked him, is it 2? And he said yes. And then we just thought we would present it as 1. So the translator is Valentine Yemelin. She dashed into the room through the concrete block under the black sails of scorched curtains, aged the wallpaper, melted down the plastic, threw in my face a fistful of barbed Z's, left a plaster-powdered dessert on the writing table, a bundle of newborn rats, then pivoted and left through a newly added door in the ceiling. Spitted out on her way, you will never write anything again. So that's the first poem. The remnants of human shipwrecks, midway through his catalog of deeds. He did not take his son to the dolphinarium, did not treat the cat for ticks, did not finish repairs in the kitchen, did not complete the book of poems, did not come to the class reunion. A sweeping never reaches him quickly. A brick-red python swallows alive all what's dear to him. Oh God, it turns out that everything is dear to him. For years he sculptured a funny, absurd statue from tiny fragments of the meaning of life. A walking termitarium with a flute. But an anteater of war came, smashed doors and windows with his crooked claw, ate all sweet and sour people. The next poet is Luis Potomac Berriozabal. I'm probably not saying that right. He's from West Covina, California, which I think is Orange County, and he works in the mental health field, and he's just has a very unique voice across all of his work. This one's called Starfish. You cannot see an actual star in solitary confinement. You see them in your heart. You feel them every time your heart skips a beat. You feel a weight you cannot lift. If you were a star, that weight would drag you down to the depths of the sea under shipwrecked boats. And this next poet, Oni Buchanan, she's an interesting poet because, well, first of all, I solicited her work. She would be, I don't know, not necessarily top tier, but she's really good. And she's also a conservatory concert pianist, and she has an arts, you're nodding like you know who this is. She has an arts management company called Aerial Artists and promotes classical music in Boston. So, and I know the pandemic, when she submitted this poem, she was telling me things were really hard. So I hope she's doing all right. Anyway, this is called The Chambered Vacuole, and it's hard to know what it's about, but it has something to do with cells, and I think extraterrestrials maybe, but that's just me. Light unwoven at the edges, the loom shows around it. I keep paring down. Soon nothing will be left. Will that make me free or just poor? I swear I hear the waves. I hear the giddiness of starfish. The legions line up to reduce me. All the reactive centers, all those handwritten letters sent away from my own heart, sob in cascades, cooling to the dew point. I exhale, I breathe in golden light. What does this lie sound like if I listen through it to the generating source? If I listen through a cataclysmic smile, what star waste sailed a chambered vacuole to the cellular edge, sailed smooth in one direction till it nosed against the outer wall? I can't pull my color back up against gravity. There is no one waiting up for me to make sure I reach my destination. On earth, the birds with golden bellies flit from bush to bush. And the next poet, maybe some of you know, because she's from Portland, Devin Balwood. She is very interesting. Just an interesting poet. She has these obsessions and she follows them. And she wrote a book about Melville's Moby Dick, did sonnets about Moby Dick. And you'll understand, so it didn't take me 40 years. I've been married 40 years, but somewhere probably really soon I realized that women were better than men. And then definitely after 40 years, I know this. So
We know.
yeah, the women know. But okay, so this one's called Xenophon Did Not Write. And so there's an example of, she makes this classical allusion to this Greek general, I don't know how many thousands of years ago. He was behind enemy lines in Persia, or I think it's Turkey actually. But, okay, Xenophon did not write a woman at war with her body. He records no thalassa, upon her reaching safe haven, nor has she embattled forever. Oh, the short rations and the forced march. Oh, the skirmishes and the unwanted glances. Oh, the robbing of reason. Where is home? Where are encomiums? Where is there no man to whom she must answer? History has left her truncated, she who is more. Thank you.
Excuse me, but during the open mic, could you read a poem, another poem out of your book?
Oh, yeah, I'll, if you insist, yeah.
I do.
And what was the website of the journal?
What, I'm sorry.
What's the website of the journal?
It's Triggerfish Review, criticalreview.com.
Gotcha.
Thank you. that was important.
And it's on our Facebook page too, on the event, on this event. So you can follow. I think it might even be a link. But if not, just ask me, and I'll. Oh, that's good. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read 3 poems, and the unique aspect of Triggerfish is that each poem is presented on the page. It's usually a piece of art on top. Then you have a poem, and then below that you have commentary by other people that are in the issue. And so in the last issue, I had a poem in there, and then I had 2 people who wrote comments on it. And so I'll read the poem and I'll read the comments, which are longer than the poem, just to kind of like prepare you. I don't know if it actually needed that, but that's what happened.
I think it's flattering too,
It is flattering.
to get written about.
That's right. Because we all know that I need a larger ego than I already have. So there's a poem called Piano Black. A shadow is not enough, not rich enough, like cheesecake or graduation. Shadows are simple, haunting flatnesses. They are memories, impressions. No. A shadow is a threadbare projection, a wish that sprays the wall and stains the floor. Night is not enough. There is too much of everything contained in it. Bats and birds, raccoons turn over a garbage can. There are too many cries in the night. It's too thin, discordant. Space is not enough, with its stars, planets, comets, jumbled up in it. None of it will soothe. So that's the poem. So this was reviewed by 2 individuals. One is Massimo Fantuzzi, and his review started with a line from the song "Shadow Play" by Joy Division. To the center of the city where all roads meet, waiting for you. And his review is, shadows that chance projects on the wall. Truly special creatures we are, with the power of our knowledge over stars, earth, and the force of our imagination, like self-proclaimed gods with the power to crown or exile gods. We have, with some exceptions, left the Platonic cave, yet ignorance in which we were fed shadows and secondhand regurgitated experiences, yet in all our might, destructive and creative, something is missing and perfection still escapes us. The search goes on, but you know we will never be satisfied. The insufficiency behind everything, every discovery, every new toy, every garbage can, we turn and turn again. For me, this poem is a source of strength and acceptance. Deep comfort and everlasting peace are clearly not on the menu in this life. Yet in no way could we settle for anything less than perfection, any shadow that waits for us at the back of the cave. Nice.
Massimo is a genius. If you didn't know.
Massimo was pretty good, yeah.
He's an Italian emigre living in Leicester, UK.
Yeah.
And I mean, his vocabulary is better than mine.
Yeah.
And he's just brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's on there.
He's on our editorial board.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I found that he brought up Plato's The Cave, which I read in junior college and did somewhat reflect on the poem.
What's your subconscious there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
And then this is also reviewed by Catherine de Leon. She said, an intriguing poem, a very interesting comparison, shadows and cheesecake. I love the idea that a shadow sprays the wall and stains the floor. The speaker seems to be having a tough time dwelling on shadows and may be upset in that their life is confused and crowded. In a way, night is crowded with bats, birds, and cries, and spaces crowded with stars, etc. Things appear hopeless. None of it will soothe. A strong ending. I'm wondering what Piano Black means. It's a great title. It is a great title.
Yeah.
It's a great title. so the idea behind the poem was, I was listening to Starless and Bible Black, and I thought, well, Bible Black is, Bibles are generally black. I'm thinking, racking my brain, what else is black? Because I'm going to write a poem about blackness and shadows and that kind of thing. And then Piano Black came to me because all those Steinways and everything are always
It'd
pristine.
be a great name of a rock band, too.
So this is a poem called How We Got Here by Keith Hansen. Railroad ties sweat creosote in the midday sun. Spiced scent of cottonwood and eucalyptus rise from the river bottom. Secondary means the old Presbyterian phrase of the seemingly inauspicious ways by which God gets his will done, in this case waterways, stage routes briefly, and railroads, because of these most before us settled like silt to where they were and we are now. At 12 years old, the world around us seems like stagecraft. How it got here and why, we don't trouble ourselves to know, but step cautiously, tie to tie across the trestle bridge above the river, then sit and take counsel, feet dangling over the track's edge into the canyon, talking for the first time, man to man, it seems to us, about girls. So, and then 4 people made comments on this one. I'm just going to read mine, which is this is a beautiful coming of age story. So many details, so well put together. Only the 2 12-year-old boys really aren't coming of age, or maybe aspiring to coming of age. The poem sets the stage first with lush details in the first 2 stanzas, then the next 2 stanzas setting the stage mentally. We don't know what the boys said in the last line. I don't know if it is important as everything that leads up to it. All right, and this is the last one I'm going to read. It's by Nathan Lewis. It's called What Scares You the Most? No visible face on the Nazgul, the blank stare of the masked shooter, knowing I have blind spots, but unable to identify them. Unwilling is closer to it. The bush, the elephant, the man, especially the masquerading angel of light, all masked and no-faced, the sycophancy of grimy worm tongue, my star-studded stare-sipping complimentary Kool-Aid, commencement speeches promising unlimited potential, willingly chasing rainbows, is more like it. The pot, the gold, the fool. Singing like a falling rock star at the casino, the mic hairbrush, the power-mongering of Saruman, the rise of machines, reliance more and more on AI, bondage of the will it is, the app, the frog, the kettle, over a modest flame, the water soon to boil, global warming, the weight in Helm's Deep, the struggle to believe in resurrection, the dry, stably silent air before the windstorm, a testing of the will. Torture is the word for it. The mind, the anxiety, the fake news, henny penny prophesying, the voice, no friend. So, I wrote this on this. But what really sucked me into this poem was that they kept on referring to Lord of the Rings. There are a lot of references to Tolkien's Middle-earth here, and suggestions of fairy tales and AI. In the end, there is waiting at Helm's Deep, the last bastion, the desperate defense against the forces of evil. Henny Penny is calling for the sky to fall. It never does. The poem looks at what scares us, and the ability of us to see what is real and what is story. And just because I had to sit with this whole poem again this week, I kept on finding more and more things in it. It's one of those poems where it's kind of like, okay, I read this thing 5 times and I found 5 different things each time. So anyway, that's me. Dale's up next.
Well, I didn't realize we were supposed to be reading other people's work. Whatever. So, you guys, you both read other people's. Can you hear me?
You do you, Dale. Don't be peer pressure.
Yeah. Oops. Stop it. This is the one that was my favorite that I just submitted to Dave, and thank you very much for accepting it, because it is kind of fun, if I can find it. It's right after unicorns, I know that. You think you are something, after Wendy Zhu, just because you put on some new pants. You could have put on a coyote, all whiskery and yippy. Instead, please put some sunlight on a forest. Then put on all of the coyotes. Run as fast as you can. While you run, listen to the scritch beneath all your terrible little claws. Put on a deluge of grasshoppers pinging off a metal roof. Put on how you should feel desolate after this. Put on heartbreak. Put on a therapist and a rom-com movie for dealing with desperation. Just say no to depression. Kiss your anxiety. You are big and hawk around on large wings. Put on a robe. You are still a coyote, a forest, and a grasshopper. Put on coyote song. Fly over the forest, a culvert, and a meadow howling. Put on a halo, chaos, and misadventure. Think of what else you might put on. Put on nighttime, starlight, and satellites. Put on Venus, Mars, and Saturn. They shine so brightly, your eyes hurt. Put on hope and the blindfold of forgetfulness. Put on how you want to go home. Put on memory and prayer. Put on the earth and see it spinning. Put on a face and look at a mirror, please. So that's going to be in the next Triggerfish. Thank you, Dave. And since we're all, well, not all of us, but some of us are married and some of us have been married for a really, really long time, I thought I'd read a wedding poem. This is after Karl Adamczyk, Epithalamium. Here we go trembling, one following the other, light not low and long enough to trip us up on the way to our marriage bed. As it was in the sunset meadow, until the following sunrise, everything wonderful, our double existence, mind-boggling as double vision, again and again, yours and mine now new, spousal arousal, folded into a paper airplane, the point of which mirrors stars in your eyes mirroring mine. And I'll just read two more, because I don't want to bore you guys. Absolute Flux, after Wendy Zhu. The first time I read Middlemarch, sitting at the counter in a little backwater cafe, my sidekick, neither friend nor foe, but a classmate since kindergarten, a blush of orange rouge on his cheekbones, the hint of a shadow on his upper lip. It felt okay to observe the tweezed eyebrows, carefully drawn with dusky gray pencil, delicate upper lids, dusty lavender to mauve. He would be the one to have me read that book. In fact, he insisted, the same way he demanded I call him Lenora instead of Buddy, and not tell anyone about the pin curls hidden under his knit cap. In these parts, it's insane to ignore what's right before our eyes, to remorselessly disregard lark song in a meadow. It's still there, spinning a thread of honeyed air. Where was I going with this? Was Lenora's relationship to other people any different? Was ours intentional, without obfuscation, a riot of morning glories clinging to a chicken wire fence, there beside the edge of my vision? If I ever have the chance to get up close again, but form won't allow it. Mist fogs my train of thought. I can still see the tattoo on Lenora's collarbone, blood dripping from the razor's edge. And I'll read one that wasn't in Triggerfish. Wife. Get comfortable with the word wife. A brief whiff of air that snuffs out a candle. Prepare for midwifery, pregnancy, childbirth, postpartum, and hysteria. Imagine you are a Siberian ice maiden, frozen for 2,000 years, a blue glacier calm and crystalline between your unblinking eyes and the sun. A long winter after the fire, even if you have married your best friend. Maybe, especially if you have married your best friend. Suck on the honeycomb of lust, chew the wax, meticulous grooming, kick to the side. It might take 50 years of togetherness to learn to make coffee, grind beans, boil water, wait 4 minutes, and then press. Gobble up all the fat, eat no lean. Even without the pumpkin shell, you may not remember what life was like before this. How you always wanted to be feared rather than be loved. A wife is a wife is a wife. Babies cry you awake. Pain means you are alive. Count to 10 before scolding in as many languages as you know the numbers. Refuse to sew lost buttons back on. Toss burnt toast into the compost. Keep the dishwasher loaded. Remember your honeymoon? how a gecko clung to the plaster wall, how you watched it skitter across the ceiling. Be that way, sure-footed and filled with adventure. Nab the buzzing fly with the sticky side of your tongue.
So, any final words, Dave?
Why didn't you give that to Triggerfish?
I just found it.
So, a big thank you to Triggerfish and to Dale for coming out. I appreciate it. It's great. Be certain to visit their website and read the issues there. There's how many issues so far?
We're putting out 34 in July. So, yeah, I mean, please submit work. We're always looking for, good work, and we don't get enough of it. So.
Perfect. Excellent. So yeah, thank you again. It's been great. I appreciate it. So we have 2 lists in the back. One is for the open mic and one's for the mailing list. So if you want to be on the mailing list, you sign up on that list. If you want to read on the open mic, you sign up on that list. There's cookies back there. There's something else back there. What else is back there? Books.
Cheese and crackers.
And cheese and crackers. So eat all the stuff, so we don't have to eat all the stuff. And we'll come back after a little bit for the open mic.
You want to put all the cookies